Hi, I'm Peter Manos, Director of Research for Power Generation and Smart Grids at ARC Advisory Group. And I'm here with Jonathan Tubb and Karr at Siemens Energy. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, great to be here today.
Excited.
Same here. What's exciting you the most these days about your work at Siemens Energy?
Well, if I could go first, I think the one thing that actually is exciting me the most is our culture. You know, one of the things that we try and ingrain not only in us as a company, but also in our customers is transparency. Whether that's from the product level all the way down to the install, we try to ensure that we're transparent and that we're also meeting all of the needs of the client. And that's the service side too that we bring into that. It isn't just on the project side. So that's one thing that I'm excited about. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to echo that, I'm seeing this and how this culture is affecting our customers. So, I'm very focused on cybersecurity and ensuring that our customers are protected as they're getting their digital transformations. And as a result of, rapid changes in the industry over the last few years, with having to learn to work remote, seeing a rise and increase of cyber events, having a partner in the industry that our customers can trust and using that to expand their own capabilities is something that I'm particularly excited about.
Makes a lot of sense. Excellent. When I look at the Siemens Energy portfolio of service offerings and products, and autonomous operations, supporting renewable energy, greater integration across the grid with more utilization of real-time data because of two-way power flows, the bulk power system, all the critical infrastructure requirements, both cyber and physical protection and redundancy in designs that are needed. I don't know where to begin in terms of asking you what value drivers and what things you would most want the community of asset owner operators in the bulk power system to know about.
Right. Well, and it's a difficult question because the grid, as you know, is a very complex machine. With the right expertise, there are things that you can do, whether it's on the power generation side, delivery of that power, or optimizing use of that power. And all those optimizations are driven by interconnectivity and using that data to drive process optimizations. And of course, as a result of that, right, we're seeing more and more interconnected systems with greater and greater levels of complexity. And that's a difficult problem to address and to solve. Obviously, again, from my side, being focused on cybersecurity, what's most important to me is addressing the base risk of our customers so that they're able to get that data out and then do something meaningful with it. And I'm sure Alan can talk quite a bit of all the fun stuff that you can do with that data.
So one of the things that we're actually doing is we're bringing that data into obviously a data lake, right? So data in, data acquisition, data cleansing, but it's really our people that really support that effort. Yeah, you can bring data in and you can evaluate it, but if you don't evaluate it and make recommendations on that, that's a completely different, and that's what it kind of goes back to what I was saying about our service side. Jonathan touched on the bulk storage and bulk electricity, and I think if you take a look at the ERCOT region, right? I think they're really shouldered off in where they are in Texas, and you're going to see in the portfolio of whether it's wind, it's going to actually drive down a lot of the fossil fleet. So that ramp rate, those daily peaks, stranded assets, being able to move gas is where I think that we can help out with our energy management, but also our battery storage.
That's interesting. Obviously, the more wind you have, the more variability you have, the more you need to be able to have the non-wind resources ramp up and down faster. And there's just a lot of extra capability, visibility, visualization, analytics surrounding that. Would you want to elaborate a little more on that?
Sure. So one of the things that we're bringing in is, what does a combined heat map look like, right? What does a ramp rate not only of a plant in North Texas versus a plant in South Texas? So that data is actually being pulled in at the DCS level, sensor level, if you will, and it's allowing us to actually make recommendations not only on energy management and who has the best heat rate for levelization, right? So the other part is when to come down. What a lot of our customers make their money on that ramp rate. And what I mean by that is, megawatts can go anywhere from $900 to $1,000 a megawatt hour for short durations.
And the spinning reserve as well underlying
Correct.
it too, right?
Correct. So being able to capture that spinning reserve, whether that's cycling down your gas turbines, bringing up your aux loads, yeah, you're going to suffer a little bit on your heat rate, but having that flexibility for grid support is also paying dividends.
So what plays in the Lone Star State applies in multi-state NERC regions as well, right?
That's correct.
So, and the dynamics of dispatching optimally are in play. I guess it's a pretty complex thing too, because of the NERC SIP requirements, critical infrastructure protection, and how that data, I'm told that in some cases at some large investor-owned utilities or RTOs or ISOs, there's a management infrastructure, there's the NERC SIP workflows,
Yes.
but you might have a manager who's not in that workflow directly, might need to have some managerial visibility, and you kind of have to wall off the NERC SIP part of the data so as to not sort of contaminate that manager with having to then be part of a work reporting and auditability. It gets pretty complicated. It's federated data. How would you describe?
Yeah, and I'll take that one.
That's great.
So we've run into that with quite a few of our customers where they're trying to prevent contamination by a high watermark, right? So being able to segment and prove integrity of data and data transfer is kind of the core of that. Now, it just so happens that's the core of cybersecurity as well, properly segmenting and securing your networks. But like you said, there's a regulatory aspect to it as well, and that's fairly challenging because it's really a lot of paperwork and proving a philosophy of your cybersecurity approach.
Yes.
And it's something that we've had to, again, really, really assist our customers with because it's not easy to ingest these regulations. They are maybe not inherently technical, right? They're typically guidance, not prescriptive. So being able to interpret regulation to reality is one of the things that we do particularly well.
That's excellent, Jonathan.
I've personally sat on the NERC SIP drafting team, so very close to that organization. We have regular calls with the EISAC to ensure that we have our own product security under control. And it's something that I'm very passionate about in making sure that we're doing the right thing for our install base.
Excellent. It's a big deal in our last few moments. I would say that that's a good illustration of a couple of things of importance. At ARC, we talk about technology being part of three key things that need to be balanced well: people, process, technology.
Exactly.
And you've just addressed, Jonathan and Alan, the people and process part as well as the technology. The second thing is that sustainability, energy transition, a lot of that is around doing things like without using more resources than you need to.
Correct.
At this conference here, ARC's conference, we've not printed thick brochures, right, about the conference agenda. We have our app on our phone. So I think I want to congratulate both of you for not perpetrating paperwork.
Thank you. Absolutely. Well, and one of the things that we're really focusing on is how to assist in the decarbonization transformation of the industry. We have a heavy focus on hydrogen-enabled technology, both in terms of production, storage, transportation. And to Alan's point about optimizing the existing assets that are out there, as we see more renewable sources come into play, they can be used for production of hydrogen. Retrofitting existing equipment to utilize that hydrogen stream is one of the things we're focusing on. But then, of course, that means optimizing that equipment in that new, or to take that new fuel source. So it's one of those things that, hand in hand with all this, digital transformation that we're seeing, it is ultimately an enabler for that ultimate transition to alternative and renewable fuel sources.
Excellent. That fits energy storage in other forms as well, along with the hydrogen. And well, gentlemen, I'd like to thank you both. Again, I'm Peter Manos with ARC Advisory Group, and we've just spoken with Jonathan Tubb and Alan Karr of Siemens Energy. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.